Stay focused, no distractions, and grind.
There are only two types of Americans: those who live in New York and those who wish they could.
Good morning. Thank you all for joining us. I am Javier Lohan, Acting Commissioner of the New York City Department of Sanitation, and I want to welcome one of the most stalwart advocates that clean streets have ever had, the author of The Best Budget Ever, Mayor Eric Adams.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much, Commissioner, and all the team that's here as we roll out another aspect of what we call the best budget ever, and we're seeing that. Before doing that, 1, 2, 1, 2. I want to just really acknowledge, as we're seeing the sunsetting of the Parks Commissioner career, my good friend Sue. You know, she's moving on to better things. Sue and I served together in Brooklyn when I was the Brooklyn Borough president, and I just watched her as the head of Prospect Park. It became a jewel in the center of Brooklyn. Her dedication, her commitment, what she has done around our parks, I think is unparalleled. It's going to go down in history as one of the greatest park commissioners that we've ever had. And we cannot thank her enough for her service, her and her team. You know, ran a few marathons.
Literally
and just loved the job. Brought her A game every day, no matter what was happening in the city. As we dealt with so many different issues, she was just laser focused on the parks, and we're seeing the quality of that. And just thank you so much, Sue, for just being here for the people of the city of New York. We're a better place because of you. So we want to move forward today as part of our best budget ever. We are baselining over $32 million in funding annually to keep our city clean, and to be here with our park commissioner and to be here with our Department of Sanitation commissioner and the two teams. I think sometimes we see how clean our city has become and don't realize it's because of the men and women who do this job every day and make sure that it often goes unacknowledged and unnoticed. When you get out during the snow time and your streets are clean and you're able to drive to and from, when you sit in your parks and you see that your parks are clean, you don't realize it's because of the manpower that's behind it. And part of this budget allotment is going to include the highest level of permanent funding for litter basket pickups in our city's history. Everyone is tired of those overfilled waste baskets and trying to find a way to get another cup in, another newspaper in. But we are going to make sure that our funding is there to manage the waste baskets in our city. And we're making funding permanent. Funding for cleanliness programs like Little Basket services have typically been set year to year. You have to cross your fingers and hope that you can get the amount of funding that's needed. Not anymore. That ends today. We're going to make it permanently part of our budget. These programs will now be a permanent part of the city's allotment on how we ensure the city remains clean throughout our city, generally, but specifically in our parks. It will no longer have to worry about overflowing litter bins and baskets on our streets. And we are making it clear, rats don't run New York. The people enjoy and run it. This administration is putting cleanliness front and center because our city should look as good as the people who are in it. With this investment, we're going to continue targeting cleaning of public spaces, an area with persistent littering, and fund 18 Department of Sanitation positions dedicated to cleaning park perimeters. We're also shifting our park maintenance up a gear to keep our parks even cleaner by expanding our second shift evening and weekend park cleaning teams will be out. While you come out, you're going to see the difference in our parks. We have added a second cleaning shift to 100 new hot spots across 64 parks, nearly doubling the number of parks that will receive this intensive cleaning and ensuring a total of 200 hot spots across 121 parks are clean each afternoon during peak hours between Thursday and Monday. No more trash, debris, or rodents forcing families to stay away from our beautiful spaces. We built them. We ensured that they were functionable. Now we want to make sure they're clean so families can enjoy it. With this second shift, we are also going to keep restrooms in our parks on average for another 2 hours each day, 5 days a week. Everyone knows when you got to go, and you don't want to be looking for a place to go. And so we're going to allow our restrooms to be open and allow people to enjoy the restrooms and families to enjoy the restrooms without frustration. With extended bathroom hours, New York families won't have to cut their time in our open green spaces. This investment are all about keeping our city clean and part of our trash revolution. Our plan to end the dominance of trash and rats on our streets is clear, and we're focused, and we're moving in the right direction. And that's something that we embrace from our times from coming in office, helping end the practice of trash being left out for a full day and thinking about streets. This was something that the previous Department of Sanitation Commissioner started, and we're seeing a difference. And it's continuing under our current commissioner, and Commissioner Logan. You're doing an amazing job of making sure the flow continues. And we brought in containerization, which many people thought was impossible. They stated it was going to take 5 years to do. We're now containerizing 70% of our trash, a huge success. And next month, we are installing our own new Empire bin stationary on-street containers in West Harlem. This will make West Harlem the first part of New York City to ever have its trash fully containerized. In East New York, we have not forgotten you. We're going to make sure we hit this part of the city also. All these efforts have a clear direction. A clean city is a safe city, and it's a city where people will feel safe as we continue to drive down crime. So our best budget ever makes investment that many of us have expected in every area of this city, and we're going to continue to do so as we roll these items out. I want to thank everyone. The partnership between DSNY and New York City Parks. We will continue the legacy of clean, safe spaces to raise children and families. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor Adams. In my 26 years with the Department of Sanitation, I have worked alongside thousands of men and women who take pride in keeping the streets of our city clean. We have always worked hard, but for too long, just as New Yorkers have been asked to accept black bags of trash on our streets, New Yorkers and visitors alike have also been asked to accept overflowing litter baskets, abandoned lots full of trash, and littered highway shoulders. Just look at the posters behind us. Horrible, disgusting, and unnecessary. It does not have to be this way. I am proud to stand here with a mayor who has refused to accept the status quo. Who doesn't think that images like these are just the way it is? This administration has ushered in a trash revolution, giving New York's strongest the resources we need to clean our city and to keep it that way forever. Today, Mayor Adams has once again proven himself to be a staunch and unflinching advocate of the clean streets as we announce historic funding. $29.7 million growing to $31 million to empty our corner litter baskets, the highest baseline level of funding for litter basket service in history. As you can see, the large litter basket over there. $1.4 million to clean park perimeters, $820,000 growing to $1.6 million to clean city-owned or maintained vacant lots, $3.6 million increasing to $6.3 million to clean neglected spaces like underpasses, greenways, and step streets, and $1.1 million for DSNY's Precision Cleaning Initiative, which provides targeted cleaning to high-need areas and assists with the city's interagency homeless encampment task force. Now, in my years with the department, I have seen lots of announcements, photo ops, and press releases announcing funding for increased cleaning. And in nearly all of these events, the funding was a one-time thing subject to renegotiation a year later. But cleanliness should not be held hostage to the blowing winds of politics. We at the Department of Sanitation should not be left wondering whether we will have staffing levels to clean our city next year. And you should not be left wondering either. A cleaner city should be guaranteed year after year, and that is what Mayor Adams has done today. This historic investment in a cleaner city is now a permanent part of the New York City budget, yet another component of the citywide trash revolution. We have cleaner streets and fewer rats, and we're going to keep it that way. These permanent high levels of funding to protect cleanliness and quality of life of our neighborhoods, and that is not a moment too soon. So when you see us emptying your corner litter basket or cleaning a shoulder or a vacant lot, you can be sure we'll be back to clean it up. I want to thank Mayor Adams for allowing New York Strongest to do what we do best, make the city shine. I now welcome New York City Parks Commissioner Sue Donahue.
Thank you, Commissioner Lohan, and thank you, Mayor Adams. Just have to take a moment to thank the mayor. Almost 10 years ago, at an event not far from here, when I was the president of the Prospect Park Alliance, and the mayor was then borough president, he said to me, you know, when I'm mayor, I want you to be my parks commissioner. And the day he was elected, I thought to myself, uh-oh, I may have a job change. But I have to say, it has been just the greatest privilege of my career to be in this role, to work with so many dedicated parkies, to have the support of this administration and this mayor. So thank you. It has been an incredible, incredible journey. And now on to this announcement. We know that all New Yorkers deserve access to clean, well-maintained parks. And as we move into warmer weather, which we finally have and have today, we know that visitors flock to our public spaces, and it becomes even more challenging to keep our parks in top condition. That's why it is so important that today we're announcing that we're adding additional maintenance staff on weekends and in the evenings when people are using our parks the most, ensuring that over 200 hotspots are kept clean during the busiest hours in 121 of our parks citywide. That's why these additional staffers, who recently started on the job in all 5 boroughs, will handle trash removal and restroom cleanliness. They'll help us remove graffiti and also, importantly, assist with rodent mitigation. We know that cleaner parks mean less rats, and that's what we're looking for. And these folks, these new personnel, will be with us during evenings and weekends when our parks need it the most. As part of our second shift announcement, we're also pleased to announce, as the mayor said, that we're keeping park restrooms open on average for another 2 hours every day, 5 days a week. And adding second shift workers is such an important milestone. It's the first time in New York City's park history that we'll have dedicated full-time staff during evening and weekend hours, cleaning our parks at peak times when it's needed most. All told, with the new baseline funding included in the fiscal year 2026 preliminary budget, there will be more than 400 new parks workers dedicated to second shift maintenance. We are grateful to the administration for consistently making park cleanliness and quality of life for all New Yorkers a top priority. I want to take a moment to give a huge thanks and shout out to our parks operations and maintenance team, many of here who are with us today. They do the hard work to keep our parks clean. Thank you so much. And they work tirelessly all year round in all conditions to make sure our public spaces are in good condition for all New Yorkers to enjoy. So when you're out enjoying our parks and beaches this spring and summer, I encourage you to take a minute, thank a park worker for all the great work they do to keep our parks clean. Thank you all so much for coming.
Thank you, Commissioner. Finally, we will hear from a local faith leader, Bishop David Maldonado, who knows firsthand what an impact this announcement will have on this area and the city at large.
God bless you and good morning. Thank you, Mayor, and the team for this opportunity. This is a wonderful initiative. Keeping our environment and our community parks clean is crucial, especially in the summer when our children spend time there. God bless our community, our nation, and our mayor. In Jesus' name, God bless you.
Mayor Adams, how are
Yes,
you?
sir.
You faced a lot of criticism for cutting the parks budget, which is still at only 0.6% of the city budget. If you're reelected, would you commit to getting it up to 1% of the city's budget, which is what advocates have been asking for quite a while?
No, it's so true. And when running for office, the vision was clear, not only to pick the best park commissioner we've ever known, but also to do 1% of our budget. When you get into the seats and you are faced with unforeseen crises, like a $7.5 billion gut in our budget, you have to make tough choices. This is not the budget we wanted for parks. We actually wanted to do more than 1%, but we had some tough challenges to face. We had to find ways of how do we continue to expand our park footprint, how do we build up our open spaces, how do we ensure that they remain clean. I think we've accomplished that. And so next year, if we don't have some unforeseen challenges, we would love to reach the 1% number. But we have some real challenges, from COVID, cycling out of COVID, to 230 migrants and asylum seekers and other issues that hit our city. And when you look at it and do an analysis it was amazing the way we navigated through it. That bond raters increased our bond rating and stated that we managed the fiscal crisis head on. And I'm proud of that. But yes.
How were parks chosen to benefit from the expanded services? Are these underserved communities?
Thank you so much for the question. And yes, we targeted areas that are known, what we call hotspots, barbecue areas, areas where people are known to convene into the later hours on the weekends, and that can tend to be a challenge for our maintenance and operations staff. So yes, they're based on heavy usage and where the cleaning is needed the most.
Hi, Mr.
Kelly,
Mayor.
how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. It's hot. You've been having some sunscreen.
Yeah, I do, but I'm also wearing warm clothes.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask, you brought up the commissioners leaving at the end of the month.
Yes.
Arguably, we're going into the busy season. Any worry about that? Who's going to take her position? Maybe she can also speak to that.
Yeah, and she can also. But what I have learned is that all of our agencies, we have a deep bench. And, the commissioner and I, both commissioners, we get the accolades, but we have a real team that's behind us. And, thank God that when you have these transitions, you see the cities don't fall apart. Because once the commissioner lays a clear pathway and plan and the team is executing, the team knows how to execute. I would love to believe, all of us would love to believe that we're the only ones that's holding everything together, but it's not true. And if you don't have a good bench that is actually operating, then you to do your job. When I spoke with the commissioner over the weekend, she said, listen, there are good people in place that can continue to do the great work that we're doing. They know how to clean the parks. They know how to make sure we continue to expand. She left a good plan in place, a good team. Every new commissioner brings his or her desires and vision. But, this commissioner, she has a deep bench. She has an amazing staff. And some of the staff, they have been here and served true under several administrations. And so they know how to keep the lights on. They know how to make sure the trucks are moving. They know how to make sure that the grass is cut. Where's Marty Marr? You know how long this man has been around? He teaches us about parks, So no matter what mayor or commissioner comes on board, they're going to reach out to Marty, And so, the system will still operate. That's what's great about this city. We have great civil servants that know how to do the job every day. Commissioner, you want to?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would second everything that the mayor has said. One of the things that has been a huge priority of mine in this administration is an initiative I launched right when I started called People at Parks. And it's really been about focusing on staff development and how are we helping to lift up our leaders, lift up the members of the Parks Department. And as the mayor said, we have an extraordinary team. I've got 5 borough commissioners. Marty Moore, as the mayor said, is one of them who's here, so dedicated to the task at hand. And many of our leaders, you know, in the borough of Brooklyn are here, but across the city. So I am confident that with the incredible and incredibly dedicated staff of Parks employees, the good work will continue for the city of New York.
Hi, Mayor Adams.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I just had a question about containerization. You mentioned that West Harlem is moving towards total containerization. Could you touch a little bit on how that transition has been going and how you're choosing neighborhoods moving forward that you're going to focus on getting to that 100% first?
Thank you for that question. So we began installations middle of April. They're ongoing. They're going to be about 1,000 containers across the community board. As far as future districts, I think this is a one-year pilot. We're going to learn a lot from it. This is the first time we've had any kind of on-street containerization. This is with the truck that we had put together. It was the first of its kind in the country. Very special. So we're going to learn a lot from the pilot, and then once we learn there more, we'll have a better sense of what's the appropriate path forward for next districts. But we're very excited about it, and we hope to see a lot of positive impacts on the community. Thank you.
And, you know, and as the commissioner stated, this truck is the first of its kind in the nation. When you make this shift to containerized garbage in New York City, many, like I said, people said it's going to take us 5 years. We hit that number in a little under 3 years when we really started, and we were very clear that we were going to get it done. This is a major shift in cleanliness in our city to containerize our garbage. And you know, New Yorkers, when you first roll out the bins, you know, they don't want to hear it. New Yorkers don't like anyone telling them anything to do. But then when you start to see how the garbage is going in the bins, you're starting to see your sidewalks are cleaner, less rodents. People are saying, wait a minute, this is not a bad idea. And so we're looking forward to the continuing evolution. And the commissioner and his team, they have done an amazing job of education, getting the information out there, and executing the plan.
Does this include more enforcement for littering and illegal dumping?
Yes, huge. Illegal dumping, we saw was a constant problem. We did everything from installation of cameras to increasing our enforcement. There were a small number of New Yorkers that determined that they were going to dump either construction material or other items, and we have really beefed up our enforcement to identify those who are carrying out. If you ignore it and allow it to happen, it will continue to grow. And we knew we had to stop just walking by, and enforcement is very much part of our plan. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm out at Brooklyn. Now I'm down in Tribeca, right next to the Narrow, but I'll be hood forever.